Okay, if you have been following along for the past few lessons, we have been spending a lot of time talking about how to work with text. And you can make a very strong case that some of what we have done can really be classified as arduous and tedious and flat out inconvenient to work with. So now is as good a time as any to start working with something called the flash fill. So what exactly is the flash fill? Well, a quick history lesson, the flash fill was introduced way back in 2013, and to Microsoft's credit, they have really made some improvements on it. In a nutshell, the flash fill will automatically fill in your data when Excel detects a pattern. Basically, you start typing some stuff and Excel will do the heavy lifting. It's pretty straightforward and very easy to use. Let's look at a few examples. Here we have a list of our departments, the employees, and they're separated with an underscore. Just for the sake of illustration, let's say we want to separate out all the departments. We can do that by clicking in the adjacent column, type out our first department, press Enter, then press Control E, and there we go. And that's about as complicated as it gets. You now know everything you need to know about the flash fill. Let's keep going. Let's undo that, and let's say we want to get the person's name. What we can do is type out the person's name, press Enter, do a Control E, and there we go. Let's keep going. Down here we have a list of our city and states, and let's say we want to separate them. Here we have a couple choices. What we can do is just type out the city in one cell, the state in another, and then do our flash fill. Or we can type out the city, flash fill it, state, flash fill it. Choice is yours. Next example. Let's say we have a list of our first names, last names, city, and state. And what we want to do is break them apart into 4 adjacent cells, and we can do that by using the flash fill. Now again, we have a couple options here. In this case, we'll type the first name, do a flash fill, type the last name, flash fill, type the city, do a flash fill, type the state, flash fill, and check that one off the list. The other cool thing with the flash fill is it is very flexible. There are a lot of unique and creative things you can do with it. By way of example, let's say the boss wants us to create a whole list of email addresses, and the email addresses read like this. It's the person's first initial, underscore, full last name, followed by the company's domain name. So here's where the flash fill can really save us some time. We'll click over here and type out our first initial, underscore, last name, @ symbol, type the domain, press Enter, Control E. Oh my gosh, check that out. Man, not too bad. So moving forward, feel free to play around with the flash fill just to see what you get. And that will do it for the flash fill.